Hello, my name is Nur Hafiza binti Mahrab. I'm going to present about the definitions of all related terms. Trust is defined as confidence in or reliance on some quality of attribute of a person or thing, or the truth in a statement. Trust is complex and abstract, making it difficult to define and to identify the elements that encompass trust. Trust is often built on previous interactions and is based on the confidence a person has on what other people will do. A team without trust isn't really a team, it's just a group of individuals working together, often making disappointing progress. They may not share information, they might battle over rights and responsibilities, and they may not cooperate with one another. It doesn't matter how capable or talented your people are, they may never reach their full potential if trust isn't present. However, when trust is in place, each individual in the team becomes stronger because he or she is part of an effective, cohesive group. When people trust one another, the group can achieve truly meaningful goals. Conflict resolution can be defined as the informal or formal process that two or more parties use to find a peaceful solution to their dispute. Conflict, arguments, and change are natural part of our lives as well as the lives of every agency, organizations, and nation. Conflict resolution is a way for two or more parties to find a peaceful solution to a disagreement among them. The disagreement may be personal, financial, political, or emotional. When a dispute arises, often the best course of action is negotiation to resolve the disagreement.
There are 6 ways a conflict may happen. There is a personalized conflict, which is rooted in interpersonal relationships, emotions, or personality, and it is based on social or relational issues like status, power, and etc. Next, we have substantive conflict, which is rooted in issues or ideas or disagreements about some aspect of the group's task. Members disagreeing about the appropriateness of two alternatives and so on. There is also competitive conflict where it polarizes group with one side winning and the other side losing. Members will feel defensive or even hostile towards each other. This conflict occurs when disagreement actually helps move the group along with its tasks or activities. There is also cognitive conflict where group members disagree about information of a subject. Therefore, the data must be available to all group members. There is also procedural conflict where procedures or processes are not discussed beforehand or when the group encounters a situation for which there is no precedent. Lastly, we have normative conflict. This occurs when one party has expectations about another party's behavior and occurs when someone evaluates behavior against what that person thought should have done. It is usually followed by sanctions intended to produce conformity to the formal rules or implied standards.
So let's move on. How are we going to build trust within groups? So the first of the point is lead by example. So if a group want to build trust in a group, so a member needs to lead by example and show the group that they can trust each other, which means that in the trust in the group mates and group leader. So not to forget that group members are always watching and following each other's direction. So just take the opportunity to show what trusting others really looks like. So if the group is running virtually, try to treat the group members as if it's working face to face. It means that doing everything possible and possibly to arrive it on time for video chats and to remove group members know that a member is away on vacation if they are away lah. So it is important to follow the promises that have been made, for the example for all others lah. Okay. Secondly, we have to communicate openly. So when we want to open the communication, it is essential to build trust. So when a group member needs to get everyone on the group to talk about each other in an honest, meaningful way, with a variety of strategies to do that. So firstly, we have to create a group charter to define the purpose of the group as well as the role of each person. So they need to present this charter at the group meeting and encourage the group member to ask questions and discuss the expectations. So group members should consider organizing group building exercises. So must choose carefully and well plan all these exercises, such as maybe you can conduct break the ice, for example, the break the ice activity. Next, you're able to you must form group member must able to know each other personally. So a manner to construct to believe that it is to inspire the group members to look at colleagues as our members, as like a family, like humans lah. So there's thing approximately to develop conditions that assist them to not to bond with the aid of using sensitively approximate about maybe their family or about their hobbies. So maybe with the aid of using sharing a non-public record, approximately maybe yourself, which asks a person another person's approximately hobby or music interest of something, for example like games or music, right? So with the manner of to get the group acquainted to each other and shape more bond with each other or socialize with each other. So for example, a member may set apart the time of every week for casual organizational discussion. So to begin with, the group members may begin a dialogue around values. We share several things of their own values and inspire others to exchange theirs. So it is critical to maximize a communication exchange that allows to perceive the highlights of a group's inner humanity, inner feelings lah. So if the group works remotely, so meet and greet is actually a good start lah. If it is a brand new group, to assist anyone to get to know each other as individuals. So you can ask anyone to jot down a paragraph of the line or about themselves or about their know-how skills. Maybe your private your private, maybe your history or your interests, or maybe you can use to maybe you can chat or message among each other to hold the channels to open the conversation. So one mistake could have been done by group members is to put blame on each other. So when members work together, obviously errors could occur, and someone will get blamed for that lah. But however, anyone begins pointing out fingers in an unsightly environment, it can develop a very sour feeling. I mean, like very bad feeling lah. This actually lowers the morale and also undermines the trust in the long run, and it makes the group unproductive. So instead of it, you must inspire everyone for the group to reflect the consideration of the error in an optimistic way. So what the group members able to do is to restore what happened and go ahead with together to solve the problem. The fifth point is actually do not encourage cliques. So cliques actually could shape within the group, and if frequently among the group participation who are not in a usual place of pursuit or taking tasks. So those organizations inwardly make other experience isolated, so it could undermine the truthness among the group participants. So you might have to start an open dialogue to approximately to get along with the group members and notice on what they will think with the consideration on the cliques and their impact towards different organizations. So with the help of addressing the problem, and it will overly discourage this adverse behavior occur. So finally, we are able to get to discuss trust issues. So when a group member leads an established team that is experiencing trust issue, it is important to understand how this issue arose in the first place so that it can develop a strategy to overcome them. So with considering giving other teams and members for questionnaires, for example, to fill out such an animosity. So you have to ask them about the level of trust within the group and why they think there is a lack of trust when after reading the results, and we can bring everyone together to talk about all the topics, but also need to make sure to keep the survey as anonymous as possible. So trust is actually an essential element of team productivity. So without them, a group may probably won't do anything significant. But with discussion of trust issues, then the group members can achieve anything. So so the group leader may lead by example and show the members how important they are to trust by demonstrating their trust together in groups. So it will try to help everyone to get to know each other on the personal level. So to encourage the conversations of values, families, or hobbies, and definitely able to discourage cliques that will damage the group trust and morale.
Conflict. So this is how ways of building trust in group can help to resolve conflict. Because the first one, because having a strong desire to communicate, this necessitates both speaking and listening. So to persuade the other side that you actually want to fix the problem, state it clearly and show that you are serious about it. You might also express how much the fight is costing you both, or how tired you are of it. A party who genuinely wants to communicate would answer by saying they will listen to what you have to say. So there is no promise to resolve, but you are demonstrating your desire to act with honesty and credibility. So this is the first one, that building trust. The first one to build trust in the group. So the second one is it indicates a willingness to accommodate the other party's requirement. So this one is, you may say something like, I'm devoted to finding a solution that benefits both of us, or I'm committed to seeing how we can both find methods to meet our respective requirements. So consider telling the other person which is of your needs has been unmet as a result of disagreement and inquiring about theirs. This is the second part of building a trust. So this is very important in the group when you try to build a trust in the group. So the third part is, it help relationship focus. So this one is about this way you able to build trust in corrected way by tolerating one another in group with other members. This is exactly how it works when building trust to each other. It can resolve the conflict very quickly regardless of the situation. By using this method above, uh, by using this method, we can know that we have to, when we building a trust in group, it's we have to focus on the relationship between our members. So when we can focus on that, we can diffuse the tension conflict in the group, so that it can be more giving comparative ways to members of the group. So it's like, uh, when you focus on the relationship in the member, or on the members of the in the group, it helps to resolve the conflict very quickly, and it also to maintain harmonious harmonious group work amongst other members.
So in conclusion, as we know that conflict is a natural process in life that we cannot avoid, because conflict is everywhere and anywhere. As you can see that we have conflict with our friends, family, and our loved one. So there must be a conflict within a group. No matter what group, the smaller group or the bigger group, there will always be a conflict. Like what had they explained just now, there's so many types of conflict, such as competitive conflict, cognitive conflict, and then procedural conflict, and there's more. And different conflict has different type process of conflict. Like what I've said just now, conflict is always cannot be avoided, but there's one way that we can do the conflict. I mean, can overcome the conflict. What we can do is only to reduce the conflict. So we can anyhow to reduce a conflict in a group or when we are communicating. So other than avoiding the conflict, we can also resolve the conflict. It's like after you have a conflict with another one, with the one you have conflict with, you can solve the conflict. It's like how we solve the problem in a group or when we are communicating. And also actually when we are talking to each other, for example, like we're talking to one another or in a group, we're discussing, and then we are actually playing a very important role about trust, because trust is a very important thing that we need to plant in our group work to make the task to make the task going on. If there's without trust, then a task in the group will never be done perfectly or can't be done easily or even smoothly. And furthermore, when people in group communicating or even doing their tasks, they will even blame each other. It's like, oh, you're not doing your task, and then this one, that one. So that is when conflict is going to happen. So to avoid conflict, I mean, like, not to avoid, but is to reduce conflict, we need to talk to each other and give out our idea personally, and then discuss to each other, but not blaming each other. So the fact that about conflict that all of our group has explained about is like that conflict cannot be avoided, and it is only can be reduced or resolved. So the best thing we need to do, I mean, like, we can do, is to reduce or resolve the conflict to avoid a very big misunderstanding between each other. So that's all from me, that's all from our group, and thank you Miss Fiona, and thank you to my fellow partners and friends. Thank you.